Hello. Tonight's show is going to start off quite differently as I got a chance to interview Rhode Island's senior senator earlier this week in the nation's capital.
President Trump is searching frantically for some way to get out after not thinking clearly why he got in.
I really appreciate your candor,
Thank
Senator. Thank you so much for meeting
Thanks.
with me. Good luck today and good luck for the rest of the week.
Thank you for your service in the military.
Thank you, sir.
Bravo.
And when I was on the Hill this week, I was told Senator Reid is liked because he doesn't throw proverbial bombs across the aisle. So when I heard him say frankly, I was happy to hear him speak candidly. Welcome to Divide America. I'm George Siska. Now, if you have not noticed, some of the Republican lawmakers are also sounding the alarm on this war with Iran. It was reported in the United Kingdom's The Independent that MAGA darling Nancy Mace is urging the president to remove fellow South Carolinian Senator Graham from the Situation Room. She said, quote, "I'm not voting to send South Carolina's sons and daughters into battle to die for the price of oil." Senator Graham seemed more interested in the rights of Israel than South Carolina folk. I've never heard Senator Graham ever talk about South Carolina. I'm sure he does every once in a while, but his quotes on Israel sure go viral. If you haven't heard him recently, he said, quote, "I'm with Israel until my dying day." Now, this dude has no legacy other than flip-flopping on actually liking our current president. Let's see what he said on 2015.
What is your reaction to hearing what Donald Trump says?
Disgusted. Well, I want to talk to the Trump supporters for a minute. I don't know who you are, and I don't know why you like this guy. I think what you like about him, he appears to be strong when the rest of us are weak. He's a very successful businessman, and he's going to make everything great. He's going to take all the problems of the world and put them in a box and make your life better. That's what he's selling. Here's what you're buying. He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot. He doesn't represent my party. He doesn't represent the values that the men and women who wear the uniform are fighting for.
Who would vote for that guy in that past clip? Who? I can't imagine. It's hard seeing him win elections or have any sway over foreign affairs. Now, when it comes to the war, I asked Senator Reid about a potential endgame with the war in Iraq. As a member of the ranking member of the Armed Service Committee, I heard a lot about munitions. What I didn't hear is an end plan. I'm an Iraqi veteran, and I know that you're a veteran yourself, and we like exit plans. And it doesn't seem that we have one right now.
Well, no, this operation was not thoughtfully conceived by the president. It was more whimsical than strategic, and the result now is he's searching desperately for a way to get out. There are multiple options, none of them particularly good.
Right.
But I think we all want to see a cessation as quickly as possible of the fighting, and then we can probably deal with some more fundamental problems.
Multiple options, and none of them good. Man, are you happy that we got into this war? The troop buildup, now I believe over 8,000 troops are either there or on their way to stage some sort of operation near or around Iran. Karg Island has been talked about multiple times, but if they even got the island, which they probably would, maintaining the island is a whole nother story. It puts another bright target for Iran to attack. Now, Senator Reid did go on with his answer, and I'm gonna play it for you here.
One, the regime in Tehran is not at all admirable. They are conducting surrogate warfare throughout the Middle East. They have a significant supply of enriched nuclear materials. Those issues have to be addressed, but ironically, this fight is not going to change any of that. It has to be changed by other means, probably diplomatic means.
Okay. You can tell I was nervous during this interview. I said it out loud at the beginning, which you'll see a little bit later. I had a real ADHD moment here in that last clip, and there's a somewhat popular meme popped into my head while the senator was talking, and I lost my train of thought. Now, some of you might already anticipate what this meme is, and I can't believe it popped into my head at the time and the situation. I could not say it to the senator, but I really wanted to say, is there something with the war that you ordered? I really appreciate the candor from the senator. I do think it's better to be friends than enemies, and I should have asked this follow up, and maybe I can get an answer from some Democrats on this one. What was the Iran regime admirable when we entered joint negotiations with them under President Obama? It's not an entirely fair question because there's a lot of nuance to that answer. Okay, like I get that, but I only had 5 minutes with the senator, and I used them as efficiently as I possibly could. I really should have asked that follow up, but again, my mind slipped. My mind just acted in the moment. Now, what I mean by I do think it's better to be friends than enemies. Iranians are humans, right? We've talked about this on this show. It's been part of our theme. Humans, right? They worship. Many of them worship different gods and have different ways, many different ways. The youngest ones didn't even know why Iran hated America. They were turning on the regime by themselves. They were in the process of turning on them. They were getting slaughtered at times, but they were working on it. And then President Trump gave them a great reminder about why they dislike our interfering ways. Now, I'm going through nerves as we go along this journey together. For the past 6 months, we've been here. If you've been here, thank you. Thank you for staying with us. If you haven't been, welcome. Like, subscribe, follow on any platform that you choose. This whole uncut interview will be in the SNN Substack along on our website, siskanews.com, and on YouTube. I'd much rather be behind a desk or a camera. I'd much rather be behind the desk instead of the camera. Right? I'd much rather write and produce. I'm reading a lot of this. I'm learning to present it correctly. I write this all week. But see, I went backwards. But unfortunately, in this racket, attention is the currency. And getting in front of this darn thing is pivotal. You have to be a good orator in these days. And I'm trying. Before we take a quick break, I want to show you Senator Reid, his response on something more domestic and something that everybody is feeling. And it's the first question I asked him is, what does he expect about with the shutdown? Let's see what he had to say. I'm very new at this, so thank you. Senator Reid, thank you for meeting with me.
Thank you.
One of the major questions I know that Rhode Islanders have is, how is this shutdown going to end? And if I can be frank, last time the Democrats sort of caved, at least it seemed like it caved when we had leverage, and now with no end in sight, do you see it ending sometime this week?
Well, I hope so. I mean, one of the human costs has been thousands of TSA workers who have been denied their payment, and also the inconvenience of travelers. But what I believe is happening is that we're making some progress, have significant reforms in ICE, and once that's accomplished, we would move forward and appropriate and authorize funds for TSA.
The shutdown continues as of 8:10 this evening, Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow, the senators want to go out for breaks. I didn't get this directly from the senator, but I know that they have their scheduled 2-week break coming up, and they would not be in session next week. However, That means that the Senate has to pass a bill that the House likes enough to pass on the same exact day for the president to also sign. This all has to happen within the next over 24 hours. I don't see it happening this week. I don't see the senators leaving, but this kind of pressure usually gives them that opportunity to cross political sides and actually get crap done. After the quick break, we are going to stay local here in Rhode Island because I personally need to talk about the SAVE Act, and I also have to talk about a potential recusal from certain subjects. There's certain things I might not be able to talk about in the future, but we're going to talk that through here real quick. We'll be right back.
I hope so.
So
I
thank you.
mean,
Let's take
Senator
off our
Reed-
interviews that we're still rolling. Learning a lot here on a live show. You get to see the ups and the downs. Anyway, transparency is vital to me. And as someone who has held a top secret SI clearance in the military, I would never purposely break ethical rules. I just want to put that out there. But when those rules are put in front of you and you notice that everyone's not playing with the same referees. For example, I mentioned briefly that I serve on my local town of Board of Canvassers here in Rhode Island, but until a wonderful ethics briefing yesterday, I was unaware that we follow some of the same unethical ethical rules that the FAA followed when I worked for them for 10 years. And frankly, when it pertains to gifts and capitalism, it just doesn't make sense. And it seems obvious that if someone bought a board member a very large, expensive gift or a dinner for any political will is illegal. Seems very common sense. Is informing the public about our mission as board members unethical even if there's a potential profit? Am I supposed to recuse myself from all election talk on this show because of these ethical rules? Or only just local election stuff? Because I'm cool with that. I can stop talking Cumberland. That's cool with me, but does that mean I can't talk national? I can't talk all Rhode Island? This is a legit question for the Ethics Commission here in Rhode Island that I will send officially in an email. I met a wonderful lawyer that she gave a great presentation yesterday. It stuck with me. I asked some questions, and I really wanted to flesh out the details here because if I have to leave the board to do the show, then the board loses yet another somewhat young, dedicated war veteran that wants to be able to make an impact on this country. I've been an unaffiliated voter my entire life, or at least in my entire residency in Rhode Island, that is. But this bipartisan board is appointed by partisan leaders, and it must stay affiliated with the party they have been appointed by. Now, we reported about this issue on our website, siskanews.com/articles. It is a fellow Operation Iraqi Freedom veteran. He was forced to resign from his position on the Board of Canvassers because he would not stay with the party that he was appointed by. Now, he was a registered Republican. He was appointed by Republicans. But after President Trump posted the very racist picture depicting the Obamas as apes, even he said, that's not for me. I'm proud of Jason for leaving the party. I am. I don't think he should have been forced off the board. It's the rules. I get it. But there's certain rules that just don't seem 100% correct, and we don't play by the same referees, like I said. I went to the following GOP meeting and saw the unwillingness of anyone in that room that wanted to take the important job of ensuring elections run smoothly. And make no mistake, that's what we do. That's what the board does. That's what the staffers do. That's what the poll workers do. It's all they want to do is have a good, fair election. Now, directly from the website here in Rhode Island, the Board of Elections is a state agency of dedicated professionals responsible for regulating various aspects of the election process within Rhode Island. The local boards are a branch of the election board. We're surrogates of them. Are we bored yet? No? Good, because things are about to get a little feisty. So, what does this have to do with the SAVE Act, right? That you're seeing on national TV, you're seeing in conservative circles. The SAVE Act would not only make things much, much, much harder to ensure proper elections, it's a misnomer. If you have not noticed, but this administration likes to use bullshit terms to name their bills, to psychologically screw you. Oh, you don't want to vote on the big, beautiful bill, huh? No. It's because it's a big pile of horse shit. Oh, you don't want to vote for the Save America Act. You don't want to save America. Save America from what? From what? If we really had so much election fraud, how the hell did Joe Biden lose 2024? Lastly, in my opinion, doing commentary with journalism makes that commentary that much stronger. Why do I think this? Proof is in the pudding. It's how commentators originally get their bona fides. So how we say it from the Dan Le Batard show. It was never on there, but I wanted to be. Still want to be. For example, Stephen A. Smith was and somewhat is a journalist still. But he, for a very, very long time, he was a journalist before he became the gas bag of ESPN show First Take. Something that he loves to use as an argument. It's like, I've been out there. I've done the work. I've done the groundwork. That's journalism. So, in summary, I'm more than willing to recuse myself from any certain situation, especially locals, but ethical rules need similar referees. Should we go over what's unethical and what I deem an illegal procurement, an award to a media company created 8 days before being awarded over $100 million of your taxpayer funds? There will be a link to the ProPublica article embedded in this live stream, either on tomorrow or after this. And it's about the former DHS director, Ice Barbie, and her unscrupulous ways. That's a non-profit organization doing good journalism. ProPublica, there's no attacking them. It's just you can say left, right, whatever. That's them not making money, trying to show us what is going on. Now, DHS can hide behind their rules because they conjured up a fake invasion, right? Because that's what they did. They conjured up this invasion that we're being invaded. Remember the caravans? This fake invasion to approve emergency funds. Now, that's a way around federal rules. We've talked about federal rules. It's boring, but there are federal rules that you have to follow. And that's the game with federal agencies. And how do I know? I was an assistant for 10 years in the FAA. My focus was on budgets and contracting. I had to file financial disclosure reports annually, and I did so timely. I had to follow the vast regulations of the FAR. It was ridiculous the amount of rules that you have to follow. So giving $143 million to the Safe America company, it's not only unethical, it's illegal. But for the $600 the board members get annually, they can't talk about elections freely. That's just unethical. I'll leave you with one last question tonight. I saw it floating around on the internet. Something that stuck with me all day. And I wish I can give proper attribution. When was the last time you saw someone fly without paperwork? Is it possible to fly without paperwork? ICE being in airports is a slap in the face to all TSA agents. TSA not getting paid, doing all the work. ICE walking around harassing people. And my other question is, what is the SOP for ICE being there? I've seen one abduction. It was of a person of brown color. What is the SOP? Are they only rounding up Asian, brown, and black people in airports? Is that who they ask for papers? Are they asking white people for papers? Our airport is very small here. I don't think we have ICE here yet in ours, but I'm going to go check it out. Thank you for joining us this evening. Much more planned for the future. Please, please follow, like, subscribe to never miss a thing. I'm George Siska. Have a great evening. Thank you for joining us.